Hey, what's going on? It's Kenny, aka Crack the Ripper, coming to talk to you a little bit about something I've been struggling with lately. It's a struggle that I think a lot of us go through. It's picking a new cell phone. So I think we've all been there where you have a device that you've been using for a while, but you see a lot of things coming out on the horizon, and some things are really drawing your attention and pulling you in a certain direction, but you're not quite sure if you want to make the jump to a new platform or a new device. So the decision I've been having to make is currently I have the Galaxy S8 Plus, and I love this phone. It's been my daily driver for a while now, a couple years, and I have been loving it. The picture quality is great, sound quality is good. For the most part, the headset functions, the handset functions as it should. It had a little bit of issues here and there. Battery, the charging port has messed up on me, so I had to get a new phone. I didn't like that. Also, I had that problem with previous Galaxies. So that's something that I feel leaves a little bit to be desired. But, for the most part, the phone has been great. RAM has been working fine. The phone switches back and forth between apps pretty quickly. I absolutely love Face unlock as well as Iris unlock. It's got some features that I really love as far as Samsung Pay, Samsung Health, things that are really helpful for my lifestyle. I've got to a point now where I really don't worry about getting stuck without my wallet. I know that I've got my phone, and that's nice. It also syncs up really well with my Samsung 3 Frontier watch. Right now I'm in the Samsung ecosystem, and I've been enjoying it for quite a while. My past few phones have been Samsung. I think the last one was the Note 3, so I took a while there to upgrade, but I'm to the point now where there's a lot of things coming out on the horizon that are kind of drawing me in a different direction. So I wanted to kind of talk for a second about some of the decisions that I've been having to make, some of the things that I've been looking at as far as new hardware that have kind of been interesting me. So first and foremost, I was looking at a couple of different options. So of course, there's the iPhone 11 that just dropped here recently, a couple months ago, and that's a great phone. I get it. Some people are real iPhone fanatics and big iPhone fans. I'm personally not. I feel like they kind of always are behind the ball. I got a little salty taste in my mouth for them because they left me hanging on my iPad 1. I had that one for a while. It's been a while back now, but they just stopped supporting it. You stopped being able to get updates. You couldn't revert back to an old version of the operating system, and that was really frustrating for me and something that was kind of hard for me to kind of swallow. So yes, the screens look good, for the most part, simple function. I get that some people like that, but I've been an Android guy, so I'm looking at some Android phones right now. A couple things that come to mind immediately were the LG Thin Q. I really liked that one. I thought that one was pretty cool. It was definitely the kind of device where it's doing some new things, got some interesting things going on with it. It's got a radar sensor in it so that you can kind of do air gestures over top of the phone to adjust volume or go to a different track or snooze an alarm and things like that. So I thought that was pretty cool. One thing that I was excited about was the dual speakers in that they're actually positioned behind the glass. So I thought that was a cool concept. Thought that'd be pretty interesting to see. But unfortunately, after watching a couple of videos, I was like, I don't know if it stacks up. The sound wasn't as crisp and clear as I would have liked for it to be for the stereo projection of the volume or whatever was playing on the screen. I think Unbox Therapy did a comparison video that was really good, and I might try to put the link in the description here so you can go and see that. But kind of pulled me away from it, though. One problem that I have had in the past with my Samsung is not being able to hear people too well, so that's something that I definitely don't want to deal with this time around. And it may be better once you get your ear to the glass, and you might be able to hear really well. But without having an earpiece, I just think that might not be the right direction for me. So there's a couple other things I was looking at. One that really caught my attention was the OnePlus. OnePlus is a company that's been up and coming for a little while now. They've been putting out some good devices. In particular, the OnePlus 7T is about to release, and that thing looks pretty cool. So I was looking at some of the older OnePlus phones, and they've got some features that I really like. They've got some, a lot of RAM. I think you can get up to 12 gigabytes of RAM with this new OnePlus T, which is awesome. I mean, really cool to be able to have that much speed when you're trying to switch through applications or holding data for prior applications that you've been using, to be able to go back to that and not have to reload that. I like that a lot. Also too, they come with 128 gigabyte internal storage, expandable memory. I do like that a lot. I've been having the option of expandable memory with my Samsung devices, and it's always worked out really well for me. So I've been able to kind of expand as I needed to. So was looking at that. That one's still not off the table. We're strongly considering that. But I tell you, one phone that I'm particularly excited about, I've been looking at videos left and right, trying to kind of figure out what I wanted to do. It's the Google Pixel 4 XL. So this phone is pretty interesting. It's looking like it may be a flagship that I can get down with and switch platforms. Yeah, so that's kind of a big deal for some people. You've been going with a device for a long time. You know it. You know kind of what it feels like. You know what to expect and things like that. So switch to a new device is a little scary. I think we could all kind of say that. There's times where you're like, I don't know how this is going to work out. So anyway, I'm digging the Google Pixel 4 XL. Right now, we just kind of have preliminary leak information. Those leaks have been coming left and right on this device. We've got everything from the size of the device, I think 6.3 inch screen on that larger device, 3,800 milliamp hour. I like that big battery size. Of course, one of the things that draws me to the Google Pixel is that, you get those updates to the Android OS so quickly. You're running with Android 10 out the box, which is pretty cool, and able to get those updates a lot faster in the future. Some other things I'm interested in, it does have the Soli radar chip, which, allows for those hand gestures and things like that I was talking about with the ThinQ. I think that's pretty interesting. Not sure of how much I'm going to use it. Maybe there's some applications out there that I haven't thought of that developers are working on that could make that really worth the bang, worth the buck for that. But for the most part, I'm interested in the cameras. It's got a ton of cameras on the device. I think 3 cameras it's supposed to have on it. It's supposed to be able to do wide angle, regular angle, and then go down to a macro mode. So to get those really close, stunning visuals when you're trying to get good details up close. So I do like that. I love I've got Google Home Minis at the house, controlling my lights and things like that. So I like kind of being a part of that ecosystem. I'm actually thinking about getting the Google Wi-Fi as well. So that is something that is definitely kind of playing into a factor. How much of my devices can I have that are all on the same same kind of platform, same company? I think Google does a lot of really good things. I think they have their head screwed on straight for the most part. So I'm really interested in that phone. Now, some of the things that are kind of drawing me away from that, though, are I'm kind of getting to a feeling like I felt with iPhone. I feel like iPhone a lot of times is behind the curve on tech. They do a great job at marketing their hardware and equipment, but for the most part, I feel like, it's like, Maps for iPhone originally took much longer. Once they finally released, they were talking about it like it was a brand new thing, and I'd been using Maps on like my HTC for years at that point. So I get kind of concerned that like with Google just going from 4 gigabytes of RAM up to 6, I'm kind of not too excited about that. Although 6 gigabytes of RAM, let's face it, can pretty much do everything that you want to do from a casual user's perspective. So that'll be pretty easy to deal with. But some of the other things out there that, no expandable memory, That hurts. That stings. Now, I kind of augment that with Google Photos. That's something that I've just started to use on my current device, and it's been working pretty well for me. So that might help kind of remove some of the burden of the memory for my photos and videos and things like that. So I think you get Google One free with Google Pixel as well. So as far as being able to save things off of the phone in the cloud environment, I think that could be a really helpful thing. So that might mitigate that risk of not having the amount of storage that I want. So kind of looking at workarounds for that. Something else that I was kind of, bummed about was no headphone jack. I currently use Bluetooth headphones all the time, earbuds. I use the Jabra 65T Elites. Those things are the bomb. Really great sound and things like that. But for the most part, I do use Bluetooth headsets, but I like that, hey, just in case if I forget my headset, I've got my wired headphones in the car or in my gym bag, I've got an option. Not having that headphone jack really removes some of that capability from my experience. So not too excited about that. So that's something I'll probably have to kind of figure out if it's going to be worth it or not. But one thing that I am super excited about is that I have the Google Stadia coming in November. So that's hopefully going to drop right around the same time that the phone does. And I'm pumped about that. I mean, I think that's really going to be a cool thing to be able to have and use on my phone. So if you don't know what Google Stadia is, it's a gaming platform that is a consoleless gaming system. Essentially, you play over the wire through your Wi-Fi. I'm not quite sure if the phone data plan is going to support that, just because of the large volume of data that I think that it's going to take to run a game like Destiny 2 or some of the other major titles that have been announced for the Stadia. So, but running it off Wi-Fi would be nice to be able to kind of take my phone with me and always have my gaming console together. Throw my game controller in my backpack or whatever and just hit the road and wherever I'm at. And if I get a little break and I'm on some Wi-Fi, I've got that available to me. So I think that's a really cool thing to have. So currently, the Google Stadia is only announced to run on Pixel devices, and Pixel 4 XL hasn't even really been announced for that yet. But let's face it, I'm pretty sure it's going to come, being that it's a flagship device. It's already slated to go with the Google Pixel 3. I think it's probably a natural progression for them to move it on to the Google Pixel 4 as well. So I'm really excited about that and being able to play that on my phone. So I don't think, as of right now, they're willing to support other devices other than Google devices. I'll be able to play that Stadia on a Chromecast Ultra that comes with it, being that I'm a Founder Series purchaser for that. Got in my pre-order, going to get the special Founder Series blue controller. I think it's called Midnight Blue controller. So super pumped about Stadia and having the option to be able to play that on my phone. So that's kind of playing into my decision. I do like that. It'd be nice to be able to play my games wherever I'm at, and I'm a big gamer. I enjoy it. So. Anyway, so that's kind of some of the decisions that I've been faced with lately, kind of thinking about comparing and contrast different devices. One other thing I did want to kind of mention, though, is I do kind of like that there's been a lot of leaks of the Google Pixel 4. So that's been pretty cool, for the most part, you've got your keynote. I think the keynote for this one is actually going to be on October 15th, but it's really nice to kind of get that buzz spun up ahead of the launch event. I think we can all kind of come to the agreement there that, we want to, I look at Google searches and things like that on a regular basis, trying to compare and contrast, even though it's preliminary information. For the most part, sometimes you get it from credible sources. I know 9 to 5 Google is a pretty reputable source when it comes to Google devices. So I like that they're leaking some information a little soon. And I think I don't know if it's intentional, but I think it's a good marketing strategy, to kind of get that buzz spun up about your device, get everybody talking, whispering, okay, what's it going to have? You might set the expectations a little too high or too low, without having the data directly from Google with a authentic, true keynote announcement. But I think it's a good starter to kind of give us a little taste of what's out there. They've been leaking pictures and photos now that the camera can take on the device. So I think that's cool. So anyway, hopefully this video has been helpful, let you know, hey, you're not the only one out there kind of wrestling with the decision and going through and frantically searching through Google, all day long, getting excited about leaks for new phones that are coming out and things like that. So you're not the only one. I think there's a lot more people out there than just me and you that are doing that. So, we're all kind of in the same boat there. But anyway, I just want to hop on real quick and talk to you a little bit about that, a little bit about my journey for picking out a new cell phone. So anyway, look, hey, if you like the video, please subscribe and mash that like button there, and you'll keep getting this content coming to you on a regular basis, and I'll keep on producing it. That's the flag that says, hey, yeah, look, I like what you're doing. So please mash that like button if you like the video. So all right. That's all for now. I guess I'll get back to you again shortly. The keynote's going to be next week, so I will definitely be back to talk a little bit about the announcements news at that point in time. So, all right. Until then, I'll talk to you later. Peace.